I was absolutely surprised to see this random statistic that VeChain posted recently. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but VeChain recently posted saying how there was 13 billion VET, and VET, by the way, is VeChain's primary native token. They say how there was, again, 13 billion VET that was, I guess, locked, right, via Stargate. Now, let's keep in mind, that's not $13 billion. That's literally, again, 13 billion VET. However, I've done, the liberty of doing some basic math when it comes to this. So 13 billion VET as of right now, if we multiply that with the current price of VET, that would equate to around almost $86 million, basically. However, here's the thing. People like to say, well, who cares about that? Well, it's not bad considering as of right now, the market cap when it comes to VET is hovering at around that over 550 million range, slightly above that, right? Not bad, again, if we take a look at around almost 86 million compared to that. Now, furthermore, though, if we take a look at comparatively speaking, right, 13 billion VET to the total supply when it comes to VET, that would be around 15%. So again, when I take a look at that right there, it's especially, I think, surprising to me in a somewhat impressive way because as of right now, when it comes to the space, of course, it's not doing the best. A lot of people have left when it comes to VeChain. Yes, sure, VET still has a pretty decent amount of holders, but still, a lot of people did leave. The charts are down, but yet I still see those statistics. So first of all, I think it showcases that the Hayabusa upgrade and whatever went on with Stargate and that becoming live, basically, I don't think that was a flop. Now, was that, I guess timing when it comes to Hayabusa and Stargate and all that, was it the best timing in terms of aligning well with the altcoin space in terms of the sentiment? Absolutely not. Of course, I mean, I think we all know that, right? But at the same time as well, it was kind of fighting already somewhat of this uphill sort of thing in a way where it wasn't just, you know, aligning well with the space overall in terms of the sentiment. So imagine that, despite the current conditions as of right now, despite times not looking the best when it comes to the space overall, and yet still we see those statistics. That was what I think surprised me the most. Just seeing that right there, I think it showcases the dedication, and also I think it showcases the belief that some people still may have when it comes to VeChain, because otherwise, why would there be 13 billion VET quite essentially being locked via Stargate as of right now, right? I mean, I don't think that would necessarily be a possibility if, let's say, a lot of people didn't believe in VeChain, but this is just personally my perspective. Now, of course, VET, it's currently ranked 75th in the world in terms of market cap within this space, so it's not like it's done so bad comparatively speaking. It's not like it's went down to like the 200 or 300th ranked project or something like that. No, that's not the case, but still, relatively speaking, it's not doing good. But my point of view is this. If I just take a look at the principle of me believing in this space as of right now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but it's like a lot of people that I know out there, they were happy like dollar cost averaging into the S&P 500, into some cases they dollar cost average into gold. But the thing is, they were happy in some cases because they say they got it when it was like having a pullback, right, basically. But then when it comes to this space in general, if I apply that same principle, sometimes people like to tell me, well, no, don't do that. And I'm like, why? They say, oh, well, because the charts are down. But then I tell them, why is the S&P 500 and gold, if let's say it has a pullback, why would that be a positive thing for them to dollar cost average? But then in this case, it suddenly isn't. I think the same principle applies. But then sometimes they like to say, well, it's because they like the S&P 500. Well, it's because they like gold. Well, okay, they like that, sure. However, I like VeChain. So the same principle applies to me here. If they like things when it's a quote-unquote having a discount or a pullback or whatever, I view it the same here when it comes to VeChain. I don't see it in any different way because they may like the S&P 500, they may like gold, so they like it when things are having a pullback for dollar cost averaging. But the same principle applies for me here. So yes, when it comes to VET, It's down by quite a lot. Again, market cap is around slightly over 550 million, but not too long ago, the market cap was around 5 billion. When it comes to VET, right? That was back in December of 2024. It was actually over 5 billion, by the way, right? It was almost 5.5 billion. So let's just say, for simplicity's sake, we assume that VET is around 10 times lower than that as of right now, which it kind of is. At this point, I don't even need VET to ever see an altcoin season. I just don't need to. If it could go back there, wow, that's my reaction. I mean, it's time to go to Sizzler because it's like to the point where VET has had this much of a pullback. If it could go back to that point, again, I'm already pretty happy, I suppose. Now, if VET for whatever reason held up a little bit better, if it was like at around a 3 billion market cap or something like that, then okay, if it goes back to like around a 5.5 billion market cap or whatever, it's a little bit boring, right? But we're just that low as of right now, which again is a showcase, right, as to just how much VET has had a pullback. But I don't mind for dollar cost averaging reasons only. Not for exiting, but for dollar cost averaging. Now, VET has reached way higher, by the way. In the past, we've seen like in 2021, the market cap was what, around 14 billion. So again, like 5 billion really in the grand scheme of things is like kind of peanuts even compared to that. But still, we're even around 10 times lower than around a 5.5 billion market cap. So we're down by that much. A 5 billion market cap seemed very bearish to VET back then when it was almost at a 14 billion market cap approximately. But as of right now, we're even like around 10 times lower than a point in which was originally considered bearish, which again is around a 5.5 billion market cap. So that is how much VET is at a pullback. Is it surprising though? Well, considering the altcoin space as of right now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily so surprising because altcoins have taken, just again, a major pullback generally speaking, but it's not only just VET, right? If VET was the only one that experienced that, then okay, yeah, sure, it might be a little bit alarming, but if the project is still doing its thing, if it's still developing, if it's still doing things, and if I still see, kind of progress fundamentally, like for instance, what has happened as a result of the Hayabusa upgrade, Stargate, and all that, if I still see stuff like that, and I still see what VeChain is doing with the UFC, with Power Slap, and all that, when I take a look at just what VeChain is doing overall as of right now, it's not necessarily concerning to me in that sense, right? Sure, the charts are down, but if I was gladly dollar cost averaging into VET like over a year ago, right now, when it's like way lower, would I suddenly find that to be a big concern? I don't know if I would because I was even willing to dollar cost average at a higher point before. So as of right now, all I'm doing is just trying to bring that average down. That's the way to take a look at it. Only once a month though, that's all I do in terms of dollar cost averaging, but I treat it like a long-term thing. I don't treat it like, oh, what's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks. If that was my mindset, I shouldn't even be in this space, really. I mean, that's the way I take a look at it because if I'm trying to outsmart things, I'll never be able to do that. The way you take a look at it is just like, believing in it over an extended period of time and seeing what happens. It might take years, who knows? I mean, I can't control this, but at the same time, I'm just slowly but surely doing it once a month. That's it. I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait, but I knew I was going to have to probably wait for quite a while. I don't know the exact timing, but I knew I was going to have to probably wait. So that's what I'm doing. If my intent is to like, oh, I need this to do that or whatever in a week or 2 weeks or not, I'm cooked or something like that, then at that point, what's the point of me even believing in this space, right? I don't want to do that. If that was my mindset, I wouldn't be in this space. But because my mindset is more of like a long-term approach, and in which case, like, I wouldn't really be so concerned as to what could happen to it in a couple months, in a year, or whatever, because I'm treating it like a long-term thing anyways, then okay, right? But if that's not my mindset, I wouldn't be in this space. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is just the way to take a look at it. So when people like to ask me why I still believe in it, that's the explanation, because I still treat it like a long-term thing. I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.